Imagine this. You're sitting in your living room in the 1930s. The radio crackles to life. A confident voice begins to speak. Calm, certain, powerful. It tells you who to love, who to hate, and what to believe. It says your country is glorious, your leader is heroic, and your enemies are monsters. You listen. Everyone listens. And slowly, one lie at a time, words turn into weapons. That was the terrifying power of propaganda in World War II. It didn't need guns or bombs. It controlled minds, created armies, and spread hate. Silent and unseen, it became the war's most dangerous weapon. What is propaganda, really? Propaganda is a way of controlling what people think. It's information used to make you believe something, whether true or false. It's persuasion on steroids. In peacetime, propaganda might sell you soap or cereal. But in wartime, it sells something far more dangerous: loyalty, obedience, and hate. Every country in World War II used propaganda. Britain, America, Japan, the Soviet Union, and especially Nazi Germany, all turned words and images into psychological ammunition. Propaganda told people who the good guys were. It told them who deserved to die. It didn't just win hearts, it rewired them. How Nazi propaganda began? At the heart of Nazi Germany's propaganda stood Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's minister of propaganda from 1933. His job was simple yet horrifying: to make Germans adore Hitler, hate Jews, and glorify war. Goebbels knew that repetition could turn lies into truth. A lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth, he said. He controlled every message. Newspapers, films, books, radio, and even schools spread Nazi beliefs. Everywhere Germans looked, they saw the same messages. Germany is great, Hitler is a hero, Jews are enemies, and war is honor. It was total brainwashing. An entire nation molded by words, not weapons. The radio. Before television, radio was the most powerful communication tool in the world. By the late 1930s, nearly every German home had one. Goebbels made sure of it. He even created cheap people's radios, so everyone could tune in. Every day, German families gathered around the radio. They heard Hitler's fiery speeches, patriotic music, and news twisted to fit Nazi lies. It didn't matter what really happened. On the radio, Germany was always right, always winning, always the victim of evil outsiders. When Germany invaded Poland in 1939, Hitler told listeners that Poland had attacked first. It was a complete lie, but millions believed it. They were furious and ready for war. Within days, the world was burning. Even on the battlefield, Nazi radio broadcasts kept soldiers fighting. When the truth was grim, propaganda said otherwise. You are winning, the enemy is weak. Those lies became fuel for courage, films that brainwashed a nation. Joseph Goebbels adored cinema, calling film the most modern and scientific means of influencing the masses. Under his control, movies became weapons of the mind. The most infamous was Triumph of the Will, 1935, directed by Leni Riefenstahl. It portrayed Hitler like a god, descending through clouds to worshiping crowds, with soldiers marching and planes soaring. The message: Hitler equals power, Germany equals destiny. Another film, Jud Süß, 1940, spread hateful lies about Jews, fueling prejudice and violence. These films proved that art, twisted by propaganda, could help create real horror. Posters. You couldn't walk a single street in Nazi Germany without seeing propaganda. Bright, bold posters covered walls, schools, trains, and factories. One showed a strong German soldier with the words, "You are nothing. Your nation is everything." Another showed a cruel caricature of a Jewish man, warning, "The Jew is your enemy." Posters were simple and powerful. You didn't need to read much, just see and believe. Every day, Germans were surrounded by messages that repeated the same story. Be loyal, obey, hate the enemy. Over time, repetition replaced reason, controlling children's minds. Goebbels knew that the easiest way to shape the future was to shape children. Nazi propaganda invaded schools, playgrounds, and bedtime stories. Textbooks praised Hitler as the greatest man alive. Math problems used bullets and tanks for examples. History lessons erased Jewish contributions and glorified war. Even fairy tales were rewritten so that villains were Jewish or foreign, and heroes were Aryan Germans. Organizations like the Hitler Youth for Boys and League of German Girls trained millions of children to march, salute, and obey. They sang Nazi songs, learned Nazi ideals, and dreamed Nazi dreams. The other side fights back. Germany wasn't the only country using propaganda during World War II. The Allies, Britain, America, the Soviet Union, and Japan also turned words and images into weapons. In Britain, the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, became a voice of truth. Its radio broadcasts carried honest and steady news across war-torn Europe. Many German citizens secretly tuned in at night, risking punishment just to hear the real story. Britain's propaganda was calm yet powerful. The iconic slogan, "Keep calm and carry on," appeared on posters during bombing raids, reminding people not to lose hope or give in to fear. British planes also dropped millions of leaflets over Germany with short, piercing messages like, "Your leaders lie, surrender, live." When the U.S. entered the war in 1941, propaganda turned into patriotic art. Hollywood joined the mission. Director Frank Capra's Why We Fight film series motivated soldiers by mixing emotion and real footage, turning Nazis into villains and Americans into heroes. Posters urged citizens to buy war bonds and stay quiet. Loose lips sink ships. In the Soviet Union, propaganda worshipped Joseph Stalin as the nation's father. Posters and films shouted, "The motherland calls," rallying millions to fight. Even starving, Soviet citizens worked harder, believing they were protecting Mother Russia. In Japan, propaganda revived the samurai code, Bushido, honor above life. Soldiers were told dying for the emperor was glory. This mindset created kamikaze pilots, who willingly crashed into enemy ships, convinced that death itself was victory, the deadly cost of lies. Propaganda didn't just inspire, it destroyed. In Germany, it turned neighbors against neighbors. It convinced millions that Jews were subhuman. When the Holocaust began, ordinary citizens looked away or helped. They had been trained to see murder as duty. In Japan, propaganda blinded citizens to the truth. Even when their cities were burning, the radio said victory was near. After Hiroshima and Nagasaki, some still believed they could win. That's the power of propaganda. It makes denial feel like courage, the secrets behind successful propaganda. Even today, experts study why World War II propaganda works so effectively. The same psychological tricks are still used, just through modern media. Repetition made lies feel true. The big lie fooled people through bold confidence. Scapegoating created hate. Fear fueled obedience. Glory inspired loyalty. Simplicity shaped minds. The fall of the propaganda machine. By 1945, the war was over. The Allies had won. Hitler was dead. Goebbels killed himself rather than face justice. His propaganda empire crumbled overnight, but the damage was done. When Allied soldiers opened concentration camps, they saw the nightmare that lies had built. Piles of bodies, empty eyes, and silence where millions once lived. Ordinary Germans were horrified. Many asked, how could this happen? In conclusion, more than 80 years after World War II, propaganda hasn't vanished. It has evolved. It now hides in social media feeds, fake news, and political messages. The tools may be new, but the tactics are the same. Whenever something online sparks instant anger, pause and ask, who benefits from this reaction? Propaganda thrives on emotion and control. WWII taught us that freedom begins in the mind. Words can destroy or heal. Even today, the real war isn't for land. It's for truth. Choose wisely because truth still saves. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe to our channel, leave a comment with your thoughts, and stay tuned for more insightful content. Thank you for your continued support.